My guests are seated. I'm going to introduce them to you. I have to my left, I have Elvis Darko, who's the editor of the Finder newspaper. Elvis, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Yes,
How was your weekend?
Good.
You look pensive. What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. I'm fine. I'm fine.
You okay? All right, good. My other guest is also seated. He's Kwame Jantuah. He is the former vice chair for PIAC, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, and then he's also a lawyer. Good morning, Kwame. How are you doing?
Good morning, David. Good morning to Elvis. May I take this opportunity to thank all the media houses, including Citi FM, that announced my father's passing under 1 week. In fact, we were overwhelmed by the number of people who came, over 600 people.
Wow.
So it was well attended. And on behalf of my family, we thank everyone who helped in the announcement of his passing.
Well, we also extend on this platform sincere condolences to you and the entire family as well. And may you be comforted at this time. Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's get into our first story for the day. The fight against galamsey is raging, and it looks as if the government is not, winning this battle, because we had our water bodies beginning to clean up and beginning to become clear, and now the case as it is for at least 4 or 5 rivers so far, they are as muddy and as thick with sediment as you can ever imagine. Very clay and very muddy. Let me get into the story. I'll read a couple of them for you, and then we'll come back and then we'll have a conversation. All right, so I want to read from citinewsroom.com. The NDC is speaking here. It says government must account for all 900 seized excavators. All right, so the National Democratic Congress has asked the government to account for all excavators and ammunition seized during the Stop Galamsey campaign. According to the communications director of the NDC, Kwame Jantuah, the government has seized 900 excavators during the campaign. He cited figures in the 2020 budget presented in Parliament to support his claim. Addressing a press conference on the banks of River Pra at Trifo-Praso in the central region, Mr. Jantuah challenged the government to make a public presentation on the state of the items. The NDC demands, and I quote, that the Akufo-Addo government, as a matter of urgency, should fully account for all items seized as listed in paragraphs 801 of the 2020 budget statement presented in the House of Parliament. The quotation continues. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, if you check paragraph 801, it says government at the time had seized 900 excavators, not 500. 500 caterpillars are missing, but we were told 900 had been seized at paragraph 801 of the budget statement. Also, it is indicated that there are a total of 2,079 weapons and ammunition have been seized from illegal miners, and 4,045 other mining equipment confiscated from illegal miners have also been seized. We are demanding that the government holds a public exhibition of the seized excavators. Let's get into the conversation straight away. We'll come back and read some bits again later on. I want to start with Elvis. What's, in your opinion, I'm sure you've been following all that is going on here. Some people will say the minority or the NDC, the opposition, are basically trying to raise issues that are neither here or there, because the truth of the matter is that the government is also working on dealing with the problem. I don't know what your take on the matter so far are.
Well, I think, this country, every issue that comes, we do politics with it.
Yeah.
I remember when this galamsey fight, then they started and got a lot of media support. One of the complaints of the NDC was that President Mahama did similar exercise but did not get the media support.
Okay.
So they didn't understand why this particular one is receiving so much media support under Akufo-Addo. And you remember the President Mahama fight was what brought this problem between the NDC and Wontumi in Ashanti region when his excavators were seized and some of them were bent. So it happened under Mahama and it ended up in a failure. Yeah. So this particular government should have taken a cue of what happened under President Mahama and do something different. Unfortunately, it's just a big betrayal of trust that the president imposed in the people who are supposed to go and do this thing. And for me, this is a complete failed exercise. There's no excuse anybody can give. No amount of explanation will justify that there is any achievement under this particular galamsey fight. It is complete zero. I do my assessment based on the turbidity level of the water.
Okay.
What we saw before the fight started and what we are seeing today, obviously things are even worse off today than before the fight actually started. So if we are in there, and one of the major reasons we are there is to protect the water bodies. Yeah. And now the water bodies are worse off than the time the fight started. Obviously, there is no amount of convincing anybody can do that and convince me that they have achieved anything meaningful under this fight. And all the allegations that are emerging, that people were collecting bribes to protect the galamseys and all that, I believe that the current investigation that is going on should not only focus on retrieval of excavators and missing equipment. It must be expanded to include all the allegations of corruption against the task force and everybody that was involved. We need to have a complete audit of the system to know what went wrong, and if we have to go back, and which is a must anyway, because we can't leave the water bodies to continue to be destroyed, because we cannot exist on this planet Earth if there is no water. So if we are leaving communities in mining communities, we are destroying their water bodies, and we decide to let it continue. What it meant is that we are just saying that the people in those communities should be left to die. And it is scary. Well, I listened to a presentation last year by CSIR, the Deputy Executive Director. And the kind of things she put out there about the effects that galamsey is having on this country and the people who live in mining communities, my brother, it is very scary. People are developing sicknesses that are unexplainable. They can't explain what is the cause. And she believes that the chemicals that are being used, that are filtering into water bodies, and people who are drinking it, are responsible. And doctors in hospitals in this community are saying people from mining communities are reporting more of kidney failures as a result of the pollution of their water bodies with chemicals that are used for mining. So we are actually committing murder and killing people in the name of some few people making money. How long can we continue this for people to continue to kill others in the name of the money they are making? I believe strongly that this investigation, the president should just give them a month to complete it. Whatever happened, or why it is still going on, we should have a completely new approach that can go in there. For me, the key is the water body, because you can't exist without water. And this community we are talking about, their only source of water are the ones that are being polluted. So they have no choice but to continue to rely on those water bodies. And that needs to be addressed. If not, those communities and other parts of the country that mine is, a day is going to come, wake up, and they are all guys either going to migrate to the south where they can find water, or they'll be left to die. It's dangerous.
Okay, thank you very much, Elvis. Kwame, the issue of water is a big one, because I have heard and read in places that the suggestion is that the next world war will be fought over water. there are countries that have already begun water rationing. We are fortunate. We have plenty of it, but we are misbehaving, obviously. The question I want to ask is that it looked as though we were winning at a point because the water started to clear up at a point. The turbidity level started to drop. Then the ban was against the small scale mining was lifted. All of a sudden, we are back to square one. And maybe it's even worse than it was before. Are we ever going to win this fight?
David, good morning. The first question I will ask, did God make a mistake for giving us the kind of natural resources we have? Because the whole of Ghana, from north to south, east to west, is covered in gold. Did he make a mistake? I will say no, he didn't make a mistake. However, it is the indiscipline of the people of Ghana that is causing this mess. As you rightly said, at the present moment, there is some quarrel between Egypt, Sudan, and those areas where the Nile flows through. Because I think if it's not Egypt, it's Ethiopia who want to dam the Nile.
Yes.
And there are huge, challenges going on with that. As you rightly said, we have the water. What are we doing with it? We are placing money before the natural resource that keeps us alive. And water is a natural resource. Look, I believe that no government can solve the problems of galamsey.
Why not?
Because of personal interest. Because of personal interest. Ask you a question. Operation Vanguard was supposed to be the operation that handled this. You rightly said, is it not worse? If I'm going to follow what Elvis said, in terms of a complete audit should be done of everything, do you think a government body can do this audit? I think it's high time, because it's the environment of this country. It's high time we got an international institution to do this audit and come out with the true situation of galamsey. Because I don't think any government will be able to do it. Look, Sami Gyamfi was standing at the banks of the River Pra, and making the statements he made. Did the River Pra just get in that condition in the MPP government? Started in their government. What did they really do about it? What has this government really done about it? And I keep saying, I will take the president by his word when he said he staked his presidency on galamsey. It's gotten worse. Do you even hear anybody challenge the president on that? Nobody. Is it that we're scared of him? Is it that he just said it just to get people a bit satisfied that he was doing something about it? Because currently, when you look at what we started doing, and you rightly said the water bodies seemed to be clearing, the perception is that when all these excavators and guns and all these things were confiscated then, and seemingly it looked as if things were getting better, officials now took it up and are doing it themselves. And they are doing it to the detriment of the people in those areas. Now, you think it's only the people in those areas who are suffering? The river bodies that we have, they all drain down into the south. We all get our source of water from the Pra, Ofin, and all these water bodies. Even when, at the time we went doing galamsey in water bodies, were we not using certain chemicals that were injurious to people? And you see, the challenge we have is that it creates illness. Our health system is not adequate enough to handle those illnesses that it creates. People die. There are no jobs for those who have lost their loved ones to go on. And so you can see that it is a merry-go-round that government is not able to hold. I believe at this point, it's not a question.
So is it all doom
it's
and
not
gloom?
A question. No, it's not a question of NDC saying the MPP should do X, MPP saying when you were in power you didn't do Y. It is a national issue. Let's sit around the table. All political parties, all stakeholders, let's sit around the table and come to a conclusion as to how to handle galamsey. It's not up to one political party. It's up to all of us. Because rightly said, the human being survives on water.
Yeah.
If you don't even eat for 5 days and you
survive.
drink water, you survive.
Yeah.
If you don't drink water for 5 days,
You can't survive.
you can't survive.
Yeah.
So it shows the importance of what we're talking about. And I expect government to take the lead and tell the NDC, tell any stakeholder, let's stop the criticism and let's all sit around the table and attack this particular menace. Because as you rightly said, it is getting worse. But tell me, is the solution burning of excavators? Is that the solution?
Well,
That
the
they
idea is
seize
that
your
it's-
excavator and they burn it.
So the logic I see in this is that an excavator is, let's say, $500,000 for a new one, right? So if you burn $500,000, then the person who is thinking about importing one for the sake of doing galamsey will be minded that, look, listen, if the people they are serious, if they I'm just going to throw my money down the drain, I'm going to buy a new excavator. So then it's prohibitive.
David, if we had the structures in place, things were working well. Those who were supposed to monitor were monitoring. Institutions who were supposed to do the right thing are doing it. The police are enforcing the law. We can seize these excavators and use those excavators for road construction.
True. Yeah.
It's a waste.
Okay, let me come back to you. We're going to take a short break. Please don't go anywhere. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, and sorry for the technical hitches there. Well, we are back here, and thank you for staying with us. The hashtag is Breakfast Daily. You can send us messages as well on 0550-585832. The country code, if you're outside Ghana, is +233. Kwame Jantuah, who's a lawyer and a former vice chair of PIAC, was making submissions before we went on the break, and he would like to conclude. Okay, go ahead.
David, to conclude, if we're going to have an investigation, first of all, we start from Operation Vanguard. It was said that all the seized excavators should be parked at the MMDAs.
Yes.
What happened? How did some go missing? The trail should be followed, ditto to the last point, as to where all, and I understand it's more than 900 excavators.
Yes, at least that's what I'm actually looking at the budget statement for 2020, and in here the Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining provided oversight for the implementation of the following activities. It says one of the second point here says monitored and tracked 900 excavators used in mining operations, leading to the arrest and deportation of 139 Chinese illegal miners. So yes, the word it uses here is monitored and tracked 900 excavators.
So that is what they've monitored and been able to track. So it presupposes there's more than 900.
I think there should be, yes.
I would hope, and I haven't heard him say anything as yet, but since he has put his presidency on the line because of galamsey, I want to see action from the president. And anybody who is caught in this investigation, be it a powerful official, be it a minister, be it a galamseyer, anybody who is caught in the line of this investigation should be dealt with. But I want to hear what the president is going to do about this, because it's resurfaced. The environment of the country is being destroyed. The environment is where people live. We do everything on the land. And so it goes to show that if we don't tackle this particular menace, we are losing our country, Ghana. and nobody should take it lightly. And I hope the voters who are going to vote for 2020 would use this as an election issue to make sure that we put both the two major parties on the line where galamsey is concerned.
Okay, all right. We want to move on to the next topic, and we want to have a conversation about the EC and voters register row that has been going on. I want to read a story from the New Crusading Guide very quickly here. EC NDC voters register row. Austin Gamey offers to mediate. Okay, so an alternative dispute resolution organization, Gamey and Co., has proposed a mediation between stakeholders, including political parties and the Electoral Commission, to find solutions to the ongoing controversy over EC's decision to compile a new voters register. In a press release signed by Austin Gamey, Executive Director of Gamey and Co., he stated that the organization is willing to offer the mediation between the parties. He said, as a result of the position taken by the EC and the opposing political parties and the EC and the opposing political parties on the proposed new voters register, controversies have been generated in the country and is brewing tension. He said, if the tension was not handled with care, the impasse has the potential of disturbing the peace and security of the country. Austin Gamey pointed out that the stakeholders needed to reach an amicable solution. Hence, professional mediation bodies like Gamey and Co. must intervene. He stated that Gamey and Co. is ready to conduct and have a mediation agreement between the parties, hence has officially notified the EC and the political parties of the offer by extending invitation to them to that effect. To that effect, Gamey and Co. has set February 24th, 2020 to hold the peace mediation meeting with their respective stakeholders. There will be a plenary session on the 25th of February. He noted that Gamey and Co. is convinced the mediation will enable the two sides to effectively address their interests. I will begin with you again, Elvis. It looks like this is where we've gotten to. Will it make a difference?
Oh, I don't think that. I don't see anything. This offer is not going to yield any result for me.
Why not?
It will not, because they have taken entrenched positions.
But that's the purpose of alternative dispute resolution anyway.
I have said it won't work. They went to a technical meeting last week. The NDC walked out. So what resolution are you talking about? The people are not fighting. It's a simple issue. He says, I have the mandate to organize elections. Yeah. And I believe that the system that is there now is not fit for purpose. I'm building a new system. If there's a problem with elections, it's the EC that will be held accountable, not political parties. IPAC and the political parties are stakeholders, but they are not in the law. EC is not bound by anything that any political party says. Okay. If the EC sees reason with what you are saying, okay, what you are doing makes reason, I want to follow, fine. If they said, this is what is good for our election and therefore want to go with it, you cannot detect the EC. So EC says, me, I'm doing it. And this is we disagree. Yeah. So this offer of resolution, for me, it's neither here nor there. It's not going to yield any result. Whether the NDC is making its case or not, everybody has said what the NDC wants to say. Everybody has said what the Electoral Commission has to say. For me, political parties in this Fourth Republic have, on every election year, tried to dictate to the Electoral Commission what the Electoral Commission must do. Yeah. And I think that it's not the way to go. The Electoral Commission is mandated to do its work. They think that as major stakeholders, as political parties, we should have a relationship. Yes, they bring issues up, and you also bring your concerns. if the EC is convinced that what they are going to do is what is the right thing, if there is problem with the elections tomorrow, nobody will hold NDC or NPP accountable. All attacks are going on the EC for creating a problem. When 2016 election results could not even be declared electronically, look at the pressure that was mounted on Charlotte Osei because we were told that the results were going to come in electronically and things were going to be fast. Only for us to be told that they suspected and attempted hacking onto their system, so they will go by a normal declaration. Look at the tension that built up in this country. And even this election, I'm told there's not going to be electronic declaration of results.
Oh, really?
Yes, there's not going to be any electronic declaration of results. So you see, when the pressure, get that pressure time, every Ghanaian is shouting, is the Electoral Commission. Nobody goes to shout on NDC or NPP.
So they should hold their ground.
So they made their point. Let the Electoral Commission do its work, okay? Because if the Electoral Commission should have a problem, nobody is going to mention NDC. When the EC said they suspected and attempted hacking, and therefore they couldn't deliver the results the time we think they should have delivered, nobody was calling NDC, neither was anybody calling NPP. Everybody was calling Charlotte Osei. Everybody was shouting Charlotte Osei's name. Why? Because that is the body that is mandated to deliver elections. Okay. So I think that these entrenched positions that political parties have been taking against the Electoral Commission for all this while, I think it's about time we let them understand that they don't dictate to the Electoral Commission. Look at what happened to Dr. Farejan. Look at the pressures he has to go through as the Electoral Commissioner, just trying to do his work. The political parties mounted so much pressure. So for me, what has been put out there, I think that if a vendor gives you an equipment, and the vendor comes to tell the equipment has outlived its shelf life, I don't see what we are talking about. For me, as I said, election management bodies need to look into the future. Biometric or whatever we are talking about, we are not the first to do it. As I said, Brazil took 20 years to develop a system for it to become robust. India, the headquarters of IT, if you are talking about IT in the world where you can find IT savvy people, even took 10 years to develop a system that is now robust and working for them. We should be talking about a system that we are developing that will be robust, that in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, we want to get here. What's the plan of us getting to where it is time for voting? I'm not going to vote on paper. I'm going to press a machine on the wall and to get counted. I think the discourse should move from whether the Electoral Commission should do a new system or not. But the discourse should be what kind of new system should we be building? Because even I'm asking, if we should be giving voter ID card tomorrow, are we still going to be giving laminated paper? We are going to be a plastic card. Okay? Because the last one that Farejan did, it was a paper laminated. And I was thinking that maybe 4 years down the line, or 8 years down, they will be told, now we are moving from the paper to an electronic or a chip-based system. So that when you come for verification with your chip, it is easier. So we should, I think that the discussion should move towards what kind of system can we build that will also become as robust as other countries like Brazil, India, those advanced countries are already using. What kind of can we build that will be something closer to theirs? So that after elections, within 24 hours, we all know the results and everybody will be sitting somewhere and that kind of tension and everything will go out. So we should not, I think that the question I will be asking the EC more is about how robust is the system and what is the future of that system. For me, that's the key. But the idea of going to buy on-the-shelf system and then the vendor says it's at least its life, I don't think that it should be an issue of argument at all. So the entrenched position taken by the NDC and the EC say I'm the one to do it. I don't see any mediation going to solve that problem. I think that we should let the EC do it, because if there's a problem, I'm not going to call NDC, neither will I call NDC. I will call Jean Mensah and say, why did you land us here?
Okay. Kwame, the EC has made their point very clear. They are moving forward and they're already working on the new register. Is the NDC just being a typical opposition party, just shouting on the hilltops just because they can, and they feel that as opposition they should oppose everything, or they have a point? And will Austin Gamey's efforts yield any fruit in bringing the NDC to the table?
David, it's not a question of only the NDC. It's not only the NDC who is trying to oppose what the Electoral Commission is doing. I was looking through the Constitution. There are some pitfalls in the Constitution. And I keep saying, this Constitution at the present moment is not fit for purpose for some of the issues
that we're facing. Yeah.
So, the Constitution under Electoral Commission, which is Chapter 7, Clause 45, states categorically that functions of the Electoral Commission shall have the following functions: to compile the register of voters and revise it at such periods as may be determined by law.
Okay.
The loophole here doesn't give us the time at which the Electoral Commission,
how frequently they
exactly,
can do that, and all of those things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because one of the issues is that it's too close to the election.
Okay.
It also, this same Constitution also tells us the importance of political parties. But we hear IPAC is not part and parcel of a structured body in terms of its legality. But political parties are huge stakeholders in the electoral process. Without political parties, there will not be an electoral commission to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, this Constitution, there's a challenge with it, which is also fueling some of these entrenched positions, where Electoral Commission says we have the right to do what we have to do by law, where political parties say you can't do it because it impinges on some of the things that we see you're trying to do. Now, political parties on their own in this country have bastardized the electoral system by attacking things that the Electoral Commission wants to do. But having said that, the person who heads the Electoral Commission can be so flexible in their approach to political parties. The moment you take an entrenched position, then you're likely to face challenges.
Yeah.
And so I would suggest Austin Gamey, whoever, yes, we've got the Peace Council also talking about it.
Yeah.
If these entrenched positions can't be broken, then whatever Austin Gamey and his crew want to do won't happen. I think, for me, the solution to this challenge lies with the president.
What can he
As the president was able to annul a referendum, goes to show he has the power to tell the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission he put in place that this is costing so much consternation in the country.
Yeah.
Let's see how best we can handle it. That is what I expect my president to do.
Okay.
Look, it is true that the president comes from a political party. It is true the president has allegiance to his political party.
Yeah.
But once he becomes a president, he's above that. And one of his major duties is for peace to rule in the country. At the present moment, as you yourself rightly said, there's no peace where this is concerned. And we are gradually getting to an electoral, the elections. Something has to break somewhere, David. Whether it's the political parties, whether it is the president saying something. The major question also is a question of trust.
Yeah.
Every political party comes in and wants to change the electoral register because we don't trust each other, that we're doing it on a very good basis. There must be something in there. They want to steal the elections. That's why they want to change the register.
Yeah.
If that question of trust is not taken care of, it's going to be very difficult. I would appeal to the Electoral Commissioner not to be so intransigent, but to take her foot off the pedal. Listen to Ghanaians. Even if you won't accept what the political parties are saying, listen to what Ghanaians are saying. Because The Electoral Commissioner is the leader. Anybody who has been put in the public institution to head is a leader. And what do leaders do? And what are leaders supposed to do? They're supposed to listen to the masses of the people. Yeah. Are Ghanaians happy with this situation? I don't think so. Because when you listen to the media and you listen to commentary and you listen to what ordinary Ghanaians are saying, they think, yes, we should change the register. Is this the time to do it? Probably. We can't have entrenched positions where elections are concerned. Okay. Because the one thing elections can do, and we've seen it through Africa, is to cause mayhem and cause war. Yeah. We can't afford that now.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for those comments. We have our last story that we want to do quickly, very quickly before we go. The Bureau of Public Safety report it says that roads in Ghana are the most dangerous place for any Ghanaian to be. Being on the road is the most dangerous place for any Ghanaian to be, and it's rather unfortunate. Let me just quickly read to you a few paragraphs of the story we have here. On citinewsroom.com, it says a report released by the Bureau of Public Safety has shown that the single most dangerous place for Ghanaians to be is on the road. That the road they ply across the length and breadth of the country. According to the report dubbed Ghana Public Safety and Crime Report, BPS Watch, transportation-related incidents accounted for the majority of deaths and injuries recorded in Ghana. The report revealed that over 900 casualties were recorded in 2019, representing 45% of all casualties. Okay? Transportation-related events reported in the year 2019 was dominated by transport events. 147 cases monitored accounted for 915 casualties, representing 45% of all casualties recorded. This makes Ghana's roads the most dangerous place to be in Ghana. As it accounts for the majority of deaths and injuries contributed by a single public safety index. All right. So, Kwame, I'll start with you on this one, and we don't have too much time left. What do you make of the Bureau of Public Safety's report?
I also went into the report, and what I gleaned from that report, it says 65% of these accidents are caused by commercial vehicles. Yeah. 37% are caused by heavy roads vehicles and large vehicles. That's a huge quantum of vehicles that are causing accidents on our roads. But you see, the ironical thing is that most of the trunk roads are tarred. Yeah. And you'd expect with tarred roads, you won't have so many accidents. Look, I drive on roads in Accra, and I'm always complaining, especially at night, where there are no street lights. Yeah. And you can fall into a crater of a pothole and cause an accident. That's true. You try to divert from a pothole, an oncoming car is coming, it hits you off the road. Yeah. Dangerous driving by most of our young people who get into trotters and co. I think any driver that has an accident, there should be retesting. But who is supposed to do that retesting? Because we can't trust the institutions that have the mandate to retest drivers and to test drivers. Yeah. Something has to give. Now, I heard on the news today that the big old Nigeria has banned Okada.
Yes, that was, I think that was sometime on Friday or so. The news
only in Lagos.
Yeah, well, whatever the case is, Lagos has the population of Ghana. Yeah. It's quite huge. Are we going to do the same? But I would have thought that government going out there to get 30-year bonds, 40-year bonds, they'll specifically get a bond to build our railways. specifically get a bond to build our railways. Because, David, if we are able to build our railways, hopefully we would not use transport goods by road. Everything can go on the train. The challenge that happened this week, where a lot of the flights to parts of the country were cancelled, caused accidents. And you heard about Honorable Muntaka's accident. And with his accident, I was listening to him on the radio this morning. He said a car was doing a U-turn in the middle of the road. They were coming. There was no way they could have stopped with the hazy weather conditions. And they plowed into it. So the indiscipline of the roads also causes it. And the buck stops with the police to make sure that laws are enforced. We can't afford people dying on our roads that much.
All right. Elvis, your take on this?
Well, I've always said that for road accident, it is the disaster that we don't want to talk about in this country, and it's claiming people. Last year, the figure they give is just half of the number. It is 2,000.
45%.
Yeah, it is 2,284 people who died in road accidents last year. 925 were killed by commercial vehicles. 627 were killed by private vehicles. And 723 were killed by motorcycles. That is last year. Motorcycles killed more people than private vehicles, even though the number of motorcycles involved in accidents were just about a quarter of the private vehicles that were involved in accident. So you can see the contribution of motorcycle accident to the situation.
Should we ban outright? I mean, there's actually a ban. The law already banned. But NDC NPP policy says we will lose votes, so allow people to do because that's what they do for a living. So don't even ask whether should we ban. The law has banned it. We have refused to enforce the law because of politics. So let's not even go there. Okay? And if you look at the records of accidents, look, between 1991 and 2018, 46,284 people died in road accidents. They died, so we buried them. Look at the shocking aspect. A total of 128,208 are those that were seriously injured. So these are people who have become persons with disability, may lost a hand and a leg or something. Seriously injured, though, is 128,000, almost 123,000. And then those who are mildly injured, not serious, is 184,000. So when we are talking about those who have died, as for them, they have died, we have performed rites and buried them. But those who are seriously injured, 124,000, they have become people who now have to depend on others for a living. Because now they have become persons with disability, they can't work as a result of accident. Now they have become a burden on their family to be able to survive. And this is the situation we are having in this country. And the reason the highways are having an accident, we all know it, is because it is not a dual carriage road. So obviously, head-on collisions are something that will always happen. As you say, Muntakawan, if the road had been dualized and the middle is blocked, how can a car be doing a U-turn in the middle? It can't happen. So if we don't have the master plan to dualize our roads, as for the accidents on our highways, they will continue to happen. And the numbers will continue to die. Because the steps that we need to take as a country, we are not making any serious effort to take those steps. Thank you.
National Development Plan is what we need.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I've been speaking with Elvis Darko, who is the editor of the Finder newspaper, and to Kwame Jantuah, who's a lawyer and the former vice chair of PIAC. Well, thank you very much for watching this segment of the show.
Hi there. I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with all of your friends. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.